Good morning, students. Myself Dr.N.Shirisha, Associate Professor, MLR CSE Department. In this class, we are going to see what is HTML frame. So, the tag that is used to create a frame and also its attributes also. In the last session, we have covered up to tables. So, HTML elements, attributes, different tags like heading tags, paragraph tag, okay, and also PRE tag and few attributes we have seen, and also in the last class we have seen how to create a table and its attributes. Okay, so in this class we are going to see what is frame. So in the overview of the presentation is all about the frame tag and its Frameset tag. So Frameset is nothing but it's a tag that is used to create a frame. So frame is a tag that is a sub tag of the Frameset tag. So Frameset tag will be the parent tag and frame tag will be the sub tag, and there is also some disadvantages for frames that also we'll see along with the examples. Now, HTML frames. These are used to divide the browser window into multiple sections. So here you have a browser window. So when you wanted to divide that into 3 pages, say browser window is 1 page. If you wanted to divide that into 2 pages, so this will be called as a frame 1. And this as a frame 2. Okay, 2 different frames. You can load the separate HTML files for frame. So when you have created frame 1 and frame 2, 2 different frames in a window, then this frame 1 will be one HTML document and this frame 2 will be the other HTML document. So 2 different HTML documents has to be externally given as a source for each individual frames. A collection of frames in the browser is known as a frame set. So you have this frame and this frame. So together this both are written inside the frame set tag. Okay. So the collection of frames in a browser window, we call it as a frame set. And window is divided into frames. Similarly, the way tables are organized into rows and columns. So you can suppose if you have this window here, this is one column, this is the other column. Column wise we have divided that into 2 frames. But you can also divide that into row wise. So this will become frame 1, this will become frame 2. I think you got the difference. So this is a column wise vertical frames and this is the row wise which are divided into horizontally. Okay, so in such way you can either divide into complete window, take a frame set, and when you are taking a frame set, so inside that you will write a frame tag. So in this frame you will write your source, whatever the frame you wanted to define, so that you have to define. Okay, so this is frame 1 and this is frame 2. So 2 different frames you will write. This is the actual structure. So you have a frame set tag, you have to close it at the end. So this is a normal structure for every frame that you have to divide. You'll have a frame set tag, under that you'll have a child tags with the different frame tags. How many frames you want, that many frames you can frame. Okay. Then what are the disadvantages? So along with the advantages where you can divide into multiple pages, a single page into multiple pages, you have disadvantages also. It is nothing but browsers may not be compatible because you are getting upgraded browsers that may not compatible, and the visibility of your frame may be differ. So if you want multiple frames, so you have a window, so you have divided this into 2 and this into 2. Then this will become frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4. So whatever you wanted to display here in the frame 1 will be decreasing because the resolution of this page is only limited to 25%. If you take the entire thing as 100%, 25% you have to give for frame 1, 25% you have to give for frame 2, 25% you have to give for frame 3 and remaining to frame 4. In that way, when you are dividing 100% to each 25, the visibility of the context that you wanted to display needs a scrolling. So when there is a scrolling, so each and every line you have to scroll and check. Therefore, that is one of the drawback. So the few drawbacks is within the frames, smaller devices, when you are having a smaller devices, it cannot cope with the frames because it is not big enough to be divided. So when the page is displayed differently on different computers due to screen resolution. So based upon you have smaller screens and you have bigger screens, based upon the screen resolution, the visibility differs. And there are few browsers also that do not support this frames. So frames are good when you wanted to divide a complete page into multiple frames or multiple pages when there is a smaller text content. When you have the larger text, then you can just use a hyperlinks and give navigation for another pages so that you can use the entire page for your content displaying. Okay, so when you are wanted to divide that into multiple frames and wanted to give larger text, then what happens? You need to just scroll. It is just a waste of time in scrolling every page, every individual page in a frame set. Okay, so these are few disadvantages, minor disadvantages that you have with the frames. Now, how to create a frame? You understood what is a frame and how you can divide. You can divide it in horizontal way, or you can also divide it in vertical frame, right? Vertical way. So a frame can be created. Okay, so we just instead of a body tag, we just write a frame set tag, and this frame set tag defines how to divide the window into frames. So rows attribute, okay, of the frame set. That means what? Whenever you say attribute, when you write a frame set, so here you will write a rows equals to how many rows? Suppose if I want 2 rows, then you will write 2 rows here. So what is this? This is a attribute that you are using for your frame set tag. So this is the value you are giving. How many frame sets you want? That much numbering you have to give it here. Okay, so rows attribute divides that into horizontal frames because row wise, first row, second row, this is frame 1, this is frame 2. Okay, then it defines which HTML and calls attribute defines vertical frames. So suppose if you wanted to divide vertically, this is frame 1, frame 2. So this is 1, 2. So this is call 1, call 2. Instead of giving rows, what you have to give? This is for horizontal, this is for vertical. Just you replace that rows with the calls. Okay, and each page can also be divided in this way. 2 columns and 2 rows. That is also possible. So any rows and any columns can be given, but see that your visibility will not get disturbed. Okay, so here is a syntax for how to use a frame. So frame set tag, calls you have used. So 1 column, second column, third column, and remaining fourth column star is given. For this, how the output will be? You will have a screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 25% given, this is 25% given, this is 25% given. Remaining, star means remaining. So it is also obviously 25%. So this is call 1, call 2, call 3, call 4. Because what we have given calls here. Okay. Then first name equals to first, rows equals to 1.html. As I told you, when you are giving a frame, say frame 1, frame 2, this is given a separate HTML, this is given a separate HTML, right? So this is given as a source. Okay, see, source equal to 1.html. So this is the external file. Name is nothing but the name that is given for your HTML external source. Then we use this name. When you wanted to connect that with the server, then what happens? Which frame you wanted to access. So for that, this name can be accessed there. By using name, we will be accessing. So suppose you have forms which has to be accessed in your PHP, server side programming. Then this will come into the picture. So source is nothing but your external file. So 1.html. So let us give in 1.html, I will give a p tag. In my p tag, I will just write MLR IT. Okay. So in my frame, let me take 2.html. So this here also let me give IARE. Okay. Okay, then when you give calls equals to 2 in a frame set tag. So this will be call 1, this will be call 2. So here you will get a MLR IT because this is call 1. This is 1.html you are giving is first one. 2.html you are giving for this one. So here you will get a here. So how many pages you have in one page? 2 pages. Okay, in this way you can give the source. Okay, next dividing the page into columns. So calls, so here we are dividing into 3 columns with the name and source. Let me take one notepad here. Okay, so in this what I am doing, whatever my frames are there, that I am just taking that. Okay, so frame set tag with calls, frame name, and this is one more frame name because I need in one frame set I am taking 3 frames. Okay, 25% one, 50% one, and 25% one. This is my frame set. Okay, let me save this on the desktop with the name f1.html. But if you see here, for 1, for 2, for 3 also we are giving 1.html, 2.html, 3.html. First let us execute how this will work. F1, just double click. So 3 frames are given. But there is nothing to display because we didn't define what is 1.html, what is 2.html, what is 3.html. So this is 25% given. Okay, the first one you are giving it as 25%. Okay, and the second one also you are giving 50%, third one you are giving 25%. This is the output you will get for the given program. Let us take 1.html, 2.html. Okay, I am taking file, new file. Then here let me give HTML with body, and here let me give p tag with something. Okay, some paragraph I wanted to display, or you can also give heading tag. H1 also is fine, the content of your frame. Okay, so what I should save? I should save this program with 1.html because my first frame is 1.html. So I'll just save this. I'm doing it on the desktop itself. I'll give 1 because my source is given as 1.html. Okay, so give all files, just save it. I have given only 1.html, not 2 and 3. So let us just refresh this output. Okay, just click on the refresh. See, you got this MLR ID. What did we do? Only 1.html, whatever the source we have given, so that we have created, and externally for source src attribute we have passed that value. Similarly you can do with 2 and 3. Okay, so I am taking 2.html. So this I will save it with 2.html. Okay, now again refresh and check the difference. You are getting this. Okay, similarly how many we have given? 3. So this also can be given. So let me give here ITM. So I am saving again this as my third one is, what will we give? So it is 3.html. Okay, so I'll save this with 3.html. Okay, just save this. Now refresh your output. This is the main output. Okay, so this is divided into 3 frames. One is 25, other one is 50, and the other one is 25. Okay, so this is how we create a frame. then this will be the output. Okay. Next, dividing page into rows. Previously we have done with calls. That is why you got a column wise division as a frame. So here we need to give rows. Only that calls whatever you are using, that we are replacing that with rows. So for this the output will be in this manner. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Just in whatever we have executed in that program only, let me change this rows calls to rows. Okay, just I am saving this, and just whatever the output you have done, so just refreshing. So calls are divided into rows. Previously you got into calls. So that is the difference between rows and calls attributes of a frame set tag. Nested frames. Nested frame is nothing but like nested if inside if we have a frame inside the frame. So here if you see, rows are given 50% and the remaining 50%, say 100%, 50 we have taken. Frame set calls, I want column wise 50%, 50%. That means you have this window, this 50% we have taken. So that 50% again column wise I need. This is 50% and this is remaining. Okay. And these two we have defined a name as this is as a top, this as a main. This is 1.html and this we have given as a 2.html. Okay. Then the remaining star in first frame set tag, here we have given star. So this is defined this and this here it is defining this. So bottom. So this is bottom frame which is 3.html. Only rows, only calls we have seen. This is a nested frame set where you are dividing that into 3 different frames. First row with 2 columns, second row. Okay. So like that, according to the requirement, you can execute. There. And here column wise. Previously we have done row wise. Let us take this. Okay. So column wise we have seen. So just I am taking this and executing the same. So frame set tag is there, calls 50%, rows I have taken. So first one is divided into 2 columns, second row you will get. Okay, just see this. Okay, first one what did we do? Row call wise 50%, 50%, this 50%, this 50%, but again rows we have defined. Okay, first row is divided into 2 columns. So because we have given column, first column into 2 rows, 50% and star. So this is 50%, this is star. Okay, so this is how we can make use of frames. So frame will be a subtag for your frame set tag. Frame set tag will contain a subtags frame. Okay, with rows and columns. So in this session we have covered how to create a frames using a frame set tag and what is the use of frame tag with rows and calls attributes, how to send external data, external HTML file as a source to your frame. Okay, I hope you all understood. Thank you all.